Hey guys, this is Mr. Markham with Unlimited Possibilities Martial Arts. I'm coming to you with another video. Today the subject of the video is going to be boxing, just boxing. What I want to do briefly is talk about a little bit of the history of boxing that is little known, that a lot of people don't know. But back in 1800s in Europe, when they first started doing boxing, I mean they've been doing hand, combat for a long time, right? Way before this, but when they started actually doing hand against hand, single person against single person with punches, they had a couple of different ways they would stand to fight. And one of them was this way, and you'd see them punch like this, and the other one was this way, you'd see them punch like this, that sort of thing. So what a lot of people don't realize is the changeover on how we went from this to this, right? Okay. Part of that is the influence in the Philippines. So way back in the day, the Filipino martial arts, this way, the American military, okay, and the European military, they went to the Philippines and they noticed the way the Filipinos were doing their martial arts, okay? And typically, so they have Filipino boxing, which is a little bit different. They call it panatukan and different things like that, where they'll strike with punches, but they also strike with hammer fists. And the reason why they strike with hammer fists is because it comes from the knife arts, is what I should say. So they would be going, and so you can see where a hook punch comes from. You see that? And when they strike across, they have the knife coming from behind, and then they also punch like this with their hands.
There we go.
And throw these small strikes. And so it was adopted after a while. They started switching over, and that's basically how we came up with our new style of boxing position. Basically the stance is really the thing that changed the most, but also the strikes did. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is kind of go into basic boxing techniques. Okay, so we know we have the jab. Okay, we call it number one also, but we have a jab technique, which is, there's two types of jabs. There's one I call just a quick jab out like this, and then you've got the pushing jab, okay? So those are two basic jabs. That's that number one or front hand. Then you've got the cross, where you're here, and you're just gonna shoulder and hip and foot, and you're just gonna cross. They call it a cross because you're going from this shoulder across to the front. Okay, so you're coming here. Where a jab goes straight out from here. You guys see it? See the difference? Cross goes here, jab goes here. Okay, so when you're doing this cross, the footwork, how the feet work, is you want to start by turning and pivoting that back foot, and then the hip turns and the shoulder turns with it, and they all collapse in, and that's where you get your power from. Straight line. Okay. So that's your jab, your cross, and then we've got our next basic technique, which is the hook punch. So on a hook punch, they start here, and you're going to turn your hips, and you're going to hit with your whole body this way. Okay, so I'm going to back up so you can see the footwork. So I'm here, I'm going to start here, I'm going to turn the hips, and I'm going to hit like this, okay? Or you can do it, some people don't like the side punch. That's my favorite because it helps keep my elbow down, which helps me protect my shoulders. So I like it better than just this one. But a lot of people will punch like this, okay? And they'll do the horizontal hook punch like this. Okay, not my favorite, but it works works as well as far as that's concerned. Okay, now the last one that we're going to do is of the basics is an uppercut. So from right here, when you do an uppercut, you're actually going to bend your knees, sink down. You're going to pivot this foot, and mostly your hip is going to come around and up. So you're going to raise your hip. So I'm here, raise my hip, and come up and bring my hand up right about eye level. Okay, you really don't want to do it. Some people, when they first start out and they're doing hook punches or uppercut punches, they'll do them way up here, super high. That's too much. You really just want to do them about eye level like that. Okay, so those are the four basic punches, but that is not the beginning. That's not where we start. Where we start is on our footwork. Okay, so let me go back to that. Footwork, actually let me get closer to the camera. Footwork is the most important part really of boxing. If you don't have good footwork and good ability to move side to side, then you're going to be able to easily get hit because you're going to just be stationary trying to hit somebody, and it'll become more like rock'em sock'em robot hitting like that instead of you moving, making a miss, and then striking back at him. So footwork is very important. So what we're going to do from right here, I'm going to show you a couple of different footworks that you can do. One of them is just what I call a short choppy step, where you're just stepping like this. Okay, so that's really basic, but the reason why you do that is because you're moving. Okay, like that. All right, so it's a short choppy stepping step. If you ever watch Thai boxers, they use something really similar where they'll step like that. Okay, so just real short and choppy, staying on the balls of your feet. The next one, that's real basic. That's like if you're starting off in the beginning, that's what you would do. The next one is what I call like the shuffle step. Okay, so where you be, and these actually, a lot of these come from the Filipino martial arts actually. So the shuffle step is going to be like this. I'm going to come out, then back. Okay, and then I'm going to do that in 8 directions. Okay, so I'm be here. Let me step back so you can see my feet. I'm going to come here, here, forward, back. I'm going to come here. I can come back here. It just depends on how I want to step, right? I can step this way too, that sort of thing. So there's different ways to do those stepping. You can switch legs and do them inverted and blah, blah, blah. So, but there's 8 directions that you can step that footwork in. And then the last one is probably the easiest one. This is the next one that I teach after we teach the short shuffle, because this is the one that most people know, but this is just the bouncing footwork. And you're shifting your weight from one leg to the other as you bounce. So it looks like this. And that gives you the ability to be able to move like so, okay? So after you get it down, then you can move really easily and you're not restricted in your movement. As you can see in the very first step, I'm really restricted in movement when I move that way, okay? But if I'm moving here, I'm not restricted at all. I can move all different kinds of ways and get in, okay? So my movement isn't stymied. So anyway, so those are the footworks. That's the footwork is the foundation. If you can't do the footwork, the punches almost don't matter. Okay. Like I said, you'll just be getting hit as you're trying to punch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put my gloves on. So I just put my gloves on with a little bit of video magic there. All right. So from right here again. Using gloves, obviously these are one thing that the gloves do help with, these are 14-ounce gloves. They're going to help with the weight, and it's going to make you, when you punch, you're actually getting a little stronger punching because you have a little bit more weight on your hands. A lot of times that's what boxers do, professional. They practice with heavier gloves and they actually get in the ring with. They're a lot lighter once they get in the ring, right? Okay, that's part of the reason why they're so fast. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to practice with this 14-ounce gloves. Okay, so same thing that we started before. I'm going to move back. So we can just start with our jab. This is a good drill that you can do. Just stepping, learning how to step, real basic. Stepping with the jab. Notice my hand is up. It's by my chin. My shoulders are up. I don't want my shoulders down. I don't want to punch like this because then it's easy to get hit on the button, as they say. So you actually want your shoulders up, and you want this hand up too. And this is covering this area as you jab. Okay? So that's your jab. And you can practice this with the footwork. You're jabbing and stepping like that. Really simple. Now what you can do is you can now add in the cross punch. So you step and then cross. Step, jab, and then cross. Just like that. And then if you want to do both sides, I like to do both sides. I always have my students do both sides. So you can go step, jab, cross. Step, jab, cross. And then when you get good at it, when it gets natural, then you can just, right? You can just go a little faster. All right, the next one we're gonna do is just add on the hook, okay? So we're here, we're gonna step with the jab, no step with the cross, and then no step, just shift the body, because your hand should be here. You're just gonna shift the body, draw back and bring this hand here, and then twist the body for the hook punch, okay? So we're here, forward, forward, back. Notice the shift back if you do it facing this way. So I'm going forward, notice my body is going forward, but I'm not passing my knee, because if I go too far, I'm gonna throw myself off balance. So I wanna go forward, stay forward, then I'm going to shift back. Notice I'm going backwards, and then I throw the hook punch, okay? So that would be our jab, cross, hook. Okay. And then the last one we're gonna do is our uppercut. Really simple. Okay, like I said, basic. So we're going jab, cross, we're adding now, after we do the hook punch, we're adding the uppercut. Okay, notice as I turn, I like to dip a little bit, just a hair. You can almost not see it. But jab, cross, back for the hook, dip a tiny bit, uppercut and come up. Okay? So when you do that uppercut, you notice I'm using my legs to come up instead of using my arm. So I don't want to be here, 2, 3, and go. Okay? No power right there. What I want to do is keep my elbow close to my body, sink down, and come up with my legs. And that's really where I get the power for that uppercut. And you don't need to jump, you just need to come up just about 3 inches, 2 inches, 1 inch really, with your body to be able to make that really work well. Okay, so that's some basics starting off, and now I'm going to have my helper come in. Okay, and I'm here with my helper Luke. All right, so what we're going to do is go over some drills with the boxing, okay? So this is really important to practice before you even start sparring. If you're just starting boxing, you need to go through the drills of what we just did a minute ago, and then start going through, these two-man drills, okay? Where you have a partner, right? And your hands are up, you guys are ready to go. Okay, so this is what we're going to do now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start, okay? So I'm going to start with the jab first, like that, and I'm going to have Luke, actually, I want you to step back, just shuffle back, just like that, okay? So I'm going to be here, and I want him to move back just enough, just out of the way, though, okay? So just like that. That's a little too good. They might not be able to do that. So a little bit more. Yes, perfect. Just exactly like that. Okay, so being able to move just out of the way like that. Now you're not always going to move that, but this helps you get used to someone punching at you. And notice he's keeping proper alignment. So the thing you don't want to do is, go ahead and punch at me, is go, jab, is go like this, okay? You don't want to do that in the beginning, because if you don't have good balance to do that properly, some professionals can do that all day long. They can move back and then they'll move around and come up and hit, right? But in the beginning, you don't want to start out that way, because if your feet aren't good, if you don't have good footwork, then you'll get stuck here and they'll just overwhelm you. So what you want to do is when he comes in, same thing that he did, you're just going to move just out of the way. And you can keep that hand up so that you can parry, okay? Which is the next step, leads us right into the parry. So we're here, he's going to parry with his backhand. So I'm going to jab here, and he's going to parry just like that. Just the parry. Good, just go straight back for right now. Yes. Good, because this is basic. Good. And just practice that back and forth and let your partner do it. Go ahead, Joe. And just parry. It's almost like catching and patting down. That's the idea. But you're using the space to make his punch less powerful. So he can punch really hard. Go ahead. Good. And he's still kind of because I relaxed. It still kind of hit me in the face, but it barely touched me. Right? So one more time. Right? Just like that. So I'm going to move back, and I'm just going to parry it down. So that space makes it easy for you to relax and parry. You don't have to be like, that's not good in boxing. If you do that in boxing, what happens is, go ahead, once I go like this, boom, he comes with the other punch and then the other punches. So you don't ever want to remove, when you parry, it's small. It's small, not like this, and you're wide open, right? Okay, now what we're gonna do is he's gonna come in and, or actually I'll do it. I'm gonna come in, and what I want him to do is he's going to now do this side step, evade, and punch this below, okay? So when I come into, you guys see how that works? He's doing that side step out, scoot this way so they can see the footwork. This way. Okay, so we're here, I come in to jab, and he comes in. And even if I come fast, right, he's already hit me. Does that make sense? Give me a little, when you're doing this, you don't have to, the partner doesn't have to hit hard, but I'm gonna let him give me a little punch, just so you guys can understand. So, good, just like that, okay? Again, same thing. Good, again. No, come on, hit. Yeah, see, it takes the sting off the other punch also. Okay, so what he's doing there is he's slipping, right? And punching as I'm punching, or trying to punch as I punch. Even if you miss a little bit, so go ahead. If you miss, no, you punch at me, sorry. Yeah. Even if I miss a little bit and then punch later, it's still better because I've moved out the way and I've hit than it is if I stay out here, go like this, and then try to hit. Okay? All right, so that's another drill that you can do. Now what we're gonna do is take those two exact same things, those two drills that we just did, and we're gonna add in the 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're here. When I jab, he's gonna come back, yep, and now he's just gonna go jab, cross, hook, uppercut, boom. So that's him practicing. See how it goes nice and slow? That's good. That's what you want to do in the beginning. You don't want to go fast and hurt your partner, because your partner won't want to play if you do that. So again, I'm coming to jab, 2, 3, 4, and he comes nice. And now it's his turn to do it to me. Boom, and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And if you notice, we're going to the body when we're doing that number 3, but you can also go to the head if their hands are down. So this time I'm going to do, well, let me come at you, and I'm going to put my hands down, right? So I jab, 3, 4. So you can do it like that also, all right? So now you come at me, 2, 3, 4. Does that make sense? Okay, and then we can do the same exact thing, adding the, doing the slip, right? So I'm coming at him, he's slipping. I'll actually do the slip. So I'm coming at, he's slipping and throwing, yes, 3 and 4, good. Again, here, 4, good. Make sure you keep that hand up. 2, 3, 4, good. And I'll go ahead and go. When he comes in, I go 1, 2, oops, I want to do 3, 4, like that. And notice I'm tagging him a little bit, but I'm not hitting him. I'm just giving him a little bit of, so you can feel, and that's important too, to kind of touch a little bit, but not hit hard. Of course, you have to have control over your hands before you do this. Like I said, otherwise your partner won't like you. So, ready? Same thing. I come in here, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's a really basic drill that you guys can kind of do with learning the 1, 2, 3, 4. Now there's more techniques in boxing than 1, 2, 3, or 4. As a matter of fact, I just took this off and now I want to put it back on. Can I borrow you to put this all the way back on me real quick? All right, so there is some things that you, well, in Filipino martial arts and Filipino boxing, they use a couple of different moves than regular boxing, which I just want to kind of show you guys so you have an idea. But some of the things that Filipino boxing will use, okay, they'll actually use a hammer fist, okay? They'll use a hammer fist this way from the they call this the open or the forearm, and then they'll use a backhand. So forehand and a backhand hammer fist, which comes from their stick techniques and their knife techniques, same thing. So if he comes in, what a lot of times with it, no, come in with this jab. Instead of catching it, like in regular boxing, what they'll do is they'll hit it, and then they'll hit, and then they'll box, okay? So that's the way, and that's something that you could also implement if you want to, right? So I'm coming at him, ready? He can just hit it, yeah? Strike, boom, right? And just throw whatever he wants in there. Okay, so that's something from Filipino. They just add the hammer fist in there also, besides just the punches. Okay, so anyway, that's our basic boxing video for this week. I just wanted to go over some basic stuff. There's a lot more to boxing, but I would take a lot more time. But anyway, that's what we're going to do. Again, train hard, but don't train too hard, and have fun. What does Bruce Lee say? He said, train seriously, but don't seriously train. I think that's what he says. So what he means by that is don't take it so serious, but train seriously and have fun. All right? We'll see you guys on the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
And hit that notification bell.
Oh yeah, I always forget that. Hit the notification bell too, so that you guys can get notified on our videos for the YouTube algorithms.